would love for you to give maybe a word of advice, maybe that could be universal for, there are probably some younger people either in law school or wanting to go to law school or pursue any kind of legal career. I mean, what's something that has worked for you or worked for you that you could, advise someone else?
I would probably say two things. I would say kind of one more practical thing and one more kind of mental thing. So I would say one practical thing is build a network. Absolutely. I mean, I would not be where I am now if I hadn't built my network on social media. And that's not to say you have to kind of run 10 platforms like I do and get to 100, you don't have to do that. But I think really try and build connections within your industry as much as possible, whether that be going to events locally, going along to anything that your firm or your business is offering, or your university, even if they have any kind of events, go along, any law fairs, anything where you get a chance to meet other people in the industry or other law students, because you never know who might end up being someone really instrumental in your life later on. So absolutely use your resources available to you, whether it's physically attending events or attending online events or building a presence on LinkedIn, for example, which is a good place to start with meeting people in the community. Absolutely build your network, because that will be instrumental to you later on. And it also just gives you that safety blanket. If you do feel like you want to move later on in life, you want to be independent. You don't want to feel like you're relying on your employer to give you your career or to give you your employment. Actually, you want to be in a position where you feel like you could work anywhere and you choose to work there. That's the position that you want to be in. And having a big network gives you that. It gives you that security and that freedom to say, actually, I'm very employable. There's 10 other people that would give me a job at any given moment, but I choose to be in this one. And that's the way you want to get to. I think, that feeling just gives you so much more freedom, and you feel much happier in your job if you know that you have other options, but you're choosing this one.
Absolutely.
And I think the other thing I would say is to keep an open mind, definitely, about your career. I mean, I never would have thought that I would be consulting. And now, as I mentioned, I'm consulting in the kind of business side of law now. So I'm actually more consulting in strategy and digital transformation, which is something for in-house teams, which is not something that I ever even heard of when I started out, actually. In law.
Probably didn't exist.
Exactly. It didn't even exist. When I started, social media didn't exist. Digital transformation is not a topic that I'd ever heard of. And in-house is not a career that I ever thought might be for me, because I saw that as kind of businessy and corporate, but here I am. So I think keep an open mind, because things can change at any time. And I think keep reassessing what you want from your life, because when you start off your life at kind of 18, 20, you have ideals of being partner and that, living your life in, a big office and working 24 hours a day. And that's fine. But you may find when you get to like your late 20s or early 30s that maybe that's not the dream anymore. And that's okay. But you kind of have to keep readjusting your career to fit in line with what your kind of life goals are and how you want to live your life. And I think sometimes people get unhappy when they stay in the same job when actually their life priorities have changed, but they haven't adjusted their career to fit in with that. So I think always just keep reassessing what drives you, what your passion is, and make sure that you are constantly making adjustments to your career to make sure that you are keeping all those things in line. I think that's the secret to a happy career, really, is just being very self-aware and aware of what you want and what makes you happy, what your strengths are, and making sure your career is always working in harmony with those things.